Get ready for the show, it's about to begin. Pro fan talk where we dive right in. Sports talk, hot takes, ain't nothing we lack. We the real fans, nothing holding us back. Mic check, 1, 2, y'all know the drill. We bringing the energy, we keep it real. Touchdowns on the Collier, on the slam dunks on the court. Every sport, every game, we holding down the fort. We breaking down the plays, dissecting the stats. Pro fan talk, we keeping it fat. Debating with passion, no filter, no doubt. We the voice of the fans, we scream and we shout.
What's going on, good people? You know what time it is. Pro Fan Talk is in the building. I am Coach Marcus. What's up on this Tuesday evening? Still in New Jersey, still going through this heat wave. We got thunderstorms at night. It's hot as Hades during the day, but we still doing the damn thing. But what's good? What's good? Carlos Rosado, what's going on, my man? First out the limo, I appreciate you. Can you relate is in the building. RC is in the building. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? Did anything happen in the W today? I don't know. I didn't hear anything. Oh, yes, by the way, the All-Star rosters have been cast. They've been drafted. They have been set. However, we've got a little question mark because on Team Clark, the great A'ja Wilson is down. She hurt her wrist in the game against New York a couple minutes ago. So the question is, will Caitlin Clark have an alternate? Is the team going to lose a player, or does she just get to pick another player? It would make more sense to just have an alternate ready and bring somebody up there to take care of that spot. Bring up De'Erica Hamby, or she was bitching that she wasn't selected. So bring up somebody that wants to play. So I'm sure they'll figure out an answer. But you got your teams, and let me see. See if we can see this. There we go. So right now we've got, for Team Collier, you got Fee Collier, Breanna Stewart, Alicia Gray, Nneka Ogwumike, Paige Beckers, Courtney Williams, Skylar Diggins, Angel Reese, Alyssa Thomas, Kelsey Plum, and Ryan Howard. That is a solid team. And on Team Clark, you got obviously Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, Sabrina Ionescu, A'ja Wilson, Satu Sabali, Kelsey Mitchell, Gabby Williams, Sonia Citron, Kiki Iriafen, Jackie Young, and Kayla Thornton. That's a good team. They're down one without. Who are they going to get instead of A'ja Wilson? That's the question. Who are they going to get to replace A'ja? I don't know. Who's the alternate? I don't know. I don't know who is the alternate. That's going to be the big question. We're going to see what they're going to do. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question, but we're going to find out soon enough, right? We're going to find out soon enough. But it should be fun. I'm hoping they can get through the weekend without no drama, without no side stories, without no surprises. Just get through this All-Star weekend. Just just clear it. Clear the weekend. Don't nobody do nothing crazy. Don't nobody say nothing crazy. I don't want to hear nothing about the CBA. I don't want to hear nothing about walkouts and strikes. I don't want to hear nothing about racist taunts in the crowd. I don't want to hear none of that shit. I just want to watch the game, have a good time, and enjoy it. That's all I want to do. I don't want no drama. I hope they can get through that. But we'll see what's gonna happen. We'll see what's gonna happen. Oh, you think Sonia and Caitlin, Sonia Citron and Caitlin are they twins? That's what you saying, RC? I call Sonia Smooth Citron. Smoove. Smooth. So she be getting it done, man. She be getting it done. She does not, neither her nor Kiki plays like a rookie. That's what I say. Neither one of them play like a rookie. And it's being proven on the court. Although Chicago should have beat Washington today. But woulda, coulda, shoulda. Angel Reese had another great game. There go that trash player again. She had another great game. Say what you want to say. She keep balling. You know, she keeps balling. Um, people can say what they want to say, but what's my rule? Regardless of what you think, regardless of your opinion, regardless of your take, it'll all play out on the court. It will play itself out if you keep it basketball. And you know what? Angel Reese is showing everybody what it's about. So she doing it on the court. So it ain't talk. It ain't a narrative. She getting it done. Point period in the paragraph. Um, appreciate you, Tiff. Absolutely. Smash that like button. Let me put my notice up there in the polls. Let me see. You know what? I totally missed the draft show. I totally missed that. I sure enough would have been streaming that live. I totally missed that. Missed the draft show. So I'm gonna have to go back and watch that. I heard a couple of comments that were saying that Caitlin Clark was trying to keep it light, and Fee was like wasn't saying much, and so I'm gonna have to watch it and judge for myself. So you know how that goes. We'll leave that up there. Let's go to my page so I can see what the my analytics is doing. Hold on for a second. Let's go to my studio. Everybody talking about Superman already. The embargo lifts Thursday, I think. A lot of people are seeing it in the theaters for the first time, so I know my sister gonna be in there. There we go. All right, here we go. Um, start a poll. Did you smash the like button? Yeah. Well, I can't type to save my life today. There we go. There we go. There we go. Got to smash that like button so we get things going. Let's go back to work. RC, they didn't do a good job advertising it. I agree. They should have carved out a time slot for the draft and did some promoting it. But if let me see, I got this up on my computer. It looks like this was on ESPN, so that's an ESPN thing. Yeah, this is on ESPN. So um I don't remember seeing anything about it. That doesn't mean that they didn't do it. That just means I didn't see it. So, but I've been busy. I've had a lot of stuff going on. Um, so I probably just missed it. But um, yeah, this was a pretty good one. Pretty good one. Asia with that pink hair, I'm not feeling it. But do you? So let me see. I'll paste it on this other page here. Hold on. I can't play the video or or YouTube's gonna slap me with a thing. Yeah. So what I will do is I will do screenshots. There we go. Because I don't want to get shut down. So we'll leave it at that. And I'll scrub through it and kind of see if I can get different spots on it. But this is it. This is it in a nutshell, man. This is it in a nutshell. And I like it. I like the way this is going. I like the way I like the picks on both squads. Like the picks on both squads. I think it's gonna be a good game. You got some teammates playing against each other, that sort of thing. So that's always fun. Um, my favorite French player, Gabby Williams, is on Team Caitlin, so that should be fun. Um, so yeah, I think it's a good matchup. Both teams get great players, but there's no bad players on either side. So it should be fun. Should be a lot of fun. And again, I'm saying that in jest about the drama stuff, but I'm kind of I'm nah that nah it ain't half serious. It's serious. I'm saying it in jest, but I'm serious. I don't want anything to take away from the weekend. I don't want no talks about the CBA, none of that stuff, because all of those questions are not going to get answered over the weekend. So don't even entertain them. Don't even get drawn into that nonsense. Just stick to the weekend, have a good time, and let it ride. And let's get ready for the second half. Let's get ready for the push home. Because look, um, my birthday is Saturday. And one thing that I know is after my birthday, everything speeds up because at the end of July, training camp starts. Training camp starts. And I'm a big, I'll be jumping back and forth between football and the WNBA, and I can't wait. I cannot wait. So I'm so itching for football to get started because I'm a big proponent of, you know, the Eagles won the Super Bowl. Like we demolished the Chiefs and people are still trying to find a way to discredit it. They still try to find a way to discredit Jalen Hurts and the things that he has done. I don't get it. I don't understand it, but hey, you do you. So so really looking forward to that. I know a lot of people are going down to Indiana this weekend for the All-Star game. Indiana's gonna be lit. Um, I'm already predicting that this will be the viewership for this All-Star game will be the biggest ever. I'm gonna go ahead and predict that. But I'm not that's not hard to say. You know what I'm saying? You got that coming out. That's the other thing. I don't want to hear nothing about Christine Brennan's book. I don't want to hear nothing about the book because there's not going to be anything good to come from it. We know what's in it. Yes, it's about Caitlin Clark, but nobody's talking about those excerpts in the book. The only thing everybody's talking about is her altercation with Dejanay Carrington and Alyssa Smith. Now watch, that's probably like a not even half a chapter in her book. But that's what everybody's talking about. And Alyssa Smith is talking about defamation of character and all that kind of stuff. And one thing I will say is maybe that they don't know who Christine Brennan is. Christine Brennan has been in the game for a long time. She's got her credentials. Um, she has been she's been somebody that been pounding the drum for women's sports for a long time. Before the whole Caitlin Clark thing started, she has seen a lot. And I'm saying that because you got to be careful when you go after a journalist, a credentialed journalist, somebody that's been in the game a long time, and you just gonna throw out words like defamation of character and lying, and you got to be real careful with your accusations because Christine Brennan's been in the game long enough to know how to dot her I's and cross her T's in every conversation you have with somebody. She even says it when she explains the whole scenario went down. She was recording on her phone and told Alyssa Smith, I'm always happy to talk to you. She's smart enough to know how to record everything that goes on. Witnesses were around, all of that type of stuff. So the burden of proof is on Alyssa Smith and Dejanay Carrington. And that's not a good look because they look like it's a spiteful, jealous type thing that you didn't like what she said about your girlfriend, and now you feeling some kind of way. Doesn't matter if it's grounded in facts or not. You went off of what you was feeling on a particular day. You didn't care if it was right or wrong. You didn't care if it was right or wrong. Very similar, and I love to use this comp. Very similar. Do y'all remember when Kim Mulkey was going off on this reporter that was writing a hit piece on her? Remember that? Every chance she got, Kim Mulkey was telling everybody that she had lawyered up and was going to sue this dude for the stuff that he put in his book. Then when it comes out, the dude had basically pretty nice stuff to say about her. So she went through all that rigmarole, all of that talking, all of that yapping, and it didn't even mean anything. It didn't even mean anything. And it's like you got to wait until something happened first. Yes, it's good to be prepared, but let's read the instructions first. Let's see what happens first before we go flying off the handle talking about we gonna sue somebody. And Dejanay Carrington and Alyssa Smith, that is not a good look right now. Because Christine Brennan has got a lot of pull in the sports community. A lot. When you've covered Olympics and that girl, Christine Brennan, done been through like 3 eras of sports, 3 decades of sports, covering it. So maybe you don't know who she is or you don't know her history, but I guarantee you, if you bring that type of noise to Christine Brennan, she gonna be lawyered up too. And let's not get it twisted. She probably got more money in the bank than you, and she's got whoever she's writing for behind her. I don't know if she's still with CBS or if she's just like a freelance going from network to network. Whatever the case is, she's been doing it for a long time, and she knows how to work the system. She does have friends in high places because she's been in the business for so long. So just be careful what you ask for. You just might get it. And you talking about somebody that can bring the smoke. She got friends. Y'all don't. So just a little FYI. Just a little FYI. Somebody said, who was talking about that today? What's her name? What's the girl that got fired from the Big Three? Put her name in the chat. I'm blanking on her name. What's the girl that got fired from the Big Three that does all of the WNBA Cup? Rachel Demita. Rachel Demita. I watched one of her videos today, and she said all of the stuff, sounded like a clapback. And I thought about it, and I was like, yeah, it kind of did. She was talking about that. She was talking about the WNBA's response to Christine Brennan when all of this stuff happened. And she said it all sounded like a clapback. It didn't sound professional. It didn't sound like it was written by adults. It did sound kind of like high schoolish. Like, I know what you're trying to do. We see you. And it's like, nah, you gotta, if you on that big a stage now, you got to meet people head on. You got to go face to face. You can't be cryptic. You got to call folks out. If it's Christine Brennan, then say Christine Brennan. You know what I mean? I think Alyssa Smith did herself a disservice based on the story that Brennan told, that when she stepped to Brennan was like, I'm happy to talk to you, and wanted to shake her hand and initiate the conversation. And Alyssa Smith just kind of scoffed at her and walked away. And it's like, well, nah, you got an opportunity to say it with your chest. You want to get big and bad on somebody, now's the time to do it. Say what you mean what you say. And the funny part is that wouldn't have been the first time that Christine Brennan had ever had an altercation with an athlete or something like that. That's part of the business. She used to that. I say this all the time. When I played in the league, um, the guys, they used to just tell us, don't read the paper, because we didn't have social media and all that kind of stuff. Cell phones wasn't around. Shit, Windows 95 hadn't even existed yet. My rookie year was 93. So I'm still rocking with DOS. But if somebody from the Philadelphia Inquirer wrote something bad or derogatory about the Eagles, that beat writer, that reporter had to come in the locker room, because you couldn't type stuff. You couldn't see the soundbite on Twitter or Reddit or whatever. You had to come in the locker room yourself. So the dude that you just wrote that scathing article about, you had to look him in his eye and put another microphone in his face to get a quote from today's game. So there was a lot of uncomfortable conversations back in the day. And you know what? The reporters, the people that wrote these stories, had the guts to go in there and look them people in the eye and say, well, this is my truth. This is what I saw. Can you say it was any different? Can you explain yourself? They had to stand toe to toe. They had to stand toe to toe with them athletes, and it wasn't always pretty. Go on YouTube and um look up Bobby Bonilla, make your move, homeboy. Bobby Bonilla got into it with this reporter, and the next time Bonilla saw him, he was ready to fight. But my point is, in all of this, is even in that situation with Bonilla, the dude came in the locker room. The dude still had to do his job. He still had to look Bobby Bonilla in his face and was like, well, what are you gonna do? Like, it was that tense. Bobby Bonilla is pacing back and forth, looking at him. You know how people do when they about to fight, and you know all of those theatrics, man. Like Bobby Bonilla was ready to pounce. Look it up. It is amazing, because you just don't see stuff like that anymore, because everybody's behind the keyboard now. Half the people that are covering a sport or a game or a team don't live in that city. So it was a different time back then. Deion Sanders, he dumped water on a reporter. Yeah. Deion Sanders had a Jerry Curl, thought it was dry, or it looked wet, but it was dry. That's what he would say. Ryan Leaf's out. Yeah. Ryan Leaf. Look at Ryan Leaf, Deion Sanders, um, 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 Mike Singletary, when Mike Singletary was the coach of San Francisco, and he took his pants down during the press conference because he was mad at what's his name, the tight end. Said can't win with him, you can't play with him, all of that stuff. But this joker took his pants down at a press conference, and folks thought he had lost his ever loving mind. He was trying to prove a point, but ain't no, you don't pull your pants down in front of nah. And people talk about Nick Sirianni. Stop it. Stop it. Y'all didn't play. Y'all didn't watch in that era of football when the circus was really in town. Y'all didn't see it back then. Um, Jerry Curl Dion was prime time. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. It was dry, but it looked like it was wet. Oh my God, the 80s, boy. Boy, the 80s was a time. 80s was a time. But they don't do that no more. They don't do that no more. Let me see something here. Uh-oh. Oops. There we go. So, yeah, times is different, man. Times is different. Uh-oh. What just happened? Hold on. Hope y'all can still hear me because my feed just cut out. I don't know what's going on with OBS right now. There we go. Oh, okay, I'm back. um, Carlos, did you see the situation with Angel Reese and her coach? No, I did not. What happened? Explain. Did they get into it or something? Because I didn't. I caught the tail end of the game. Um, I was checking the score on my phone, and it looked like Chicago was winning most of the game, and then that fourth quarter, they just fell apart. I didn't see anything that happened, but yeah, explain to me what happened. She slapped the assistant coach clipboard on the ground. Oh, okay. I missed that. I missed that. Okay. Was it an accident or was she doing it on purpose? She was just mad. Like, I missed that. I'm gonna have to go find that. Let me be honest with you, man. You talking about like you got to look at Angel Reese, like you got to look at the macro, like the big picture. Angel Reese coming from LSU. You know what I mean? She won a national championship, and then the following year, they was in the Sweet 16. So a lot of a big thing that nobody really talks about with the ladies in the W, especially when you look at somebody like Kaylin Clark, you look at Angel Reese, you look at Stewie, you look at I'm trying to think, you look at Paige, um, Fee, anybody that went to UConn. When you come from that type of coaching pedigree, and then you get some of the stuff you get here, like Aaliyah Boston went to South Carolina and played for Dawn Staley, and then she came into the league and played for Christy Sides. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like Angel Reese is playing for Kim Mulkey, multiple national championships at two different schools, and then she goes to Kim Mulkey to Tyler Marsh. You know what I mean? That's a step back. So a lot of these coaches look at Paige down in Dallas. Paige played 6 years for the best to ever do it in college. Gino is arguably the best to ever do it. And I say the only reason I say arguably was because I was around when Pat Summitt was living. And if you want to put Pat Summitt in there, I agree. But in this day and age, I can't argue Gino Auriemma. I can't argue his resume. So when you coming from that type of pedigree, and then you got to go, then you Christy Sides. Christy Sides was a good coach at best. Tyler Marsh, in my opinion, he just wasn't ready. You had Teaspoon, but she had her issues too. As much as people loved Teresa Weatherspoon, she had issues with her coaching style, and the reason why folks was wanting to leave was because she was catering to Angel, or at least that's what the word was, and a lot of people didn't like that. She couldn't balance it. She couldn't coach the team. She kept coaching one person, and people was feeling some kind of way. At least that's how I saw it. Anybody that's a Chicago Sky fan has a better purview on that situation, let me know. So Tiff, you are right. However, like, do not forget how supremely difficult it is to win at the professional level. Like, don't get it twisted. I don't, and a lot of people, this is kind of what makes me angry. Excuse me, when you listen to like a lot of these trolls and the people that just want to come out with something negative to say. And it's like, y'all don't understand how supremely difficult it is to win at the highest level, period. I don't care if it's golf. I don't care if it's chess. I don't care if it's WNBA, NBA, NFL, MLB, NHL. I don't care what it is. It is extremely difficult to win. It is extremely difficult. I don't care if you going for a commissioner's cup or you going for the whole thing. It is no joke. So now look at the situation with Asia. She just got hurt. Look at the situation with LA. They got Kelsey Plum, and Kelsey Plum thought it was going to be different, going to a different location, different environment. I could ball out, and guess what? They on the struggle bus, and Las Vegas is on the struggle bus. Even though New York has got it back together, and they getting their winning ways again. New York struggled for a little bit. Everybody gets a turn to go through some stuff. Yeah, RC, Sabrina Sabs went off today. She went off today. Let me see. Since we're talking about Sabrina. Jackie Young went off with 19 points, 7 boards. But Stewie had 15, 15, 7, and 5. Kennedy Burke, man. She might be the leader of sixth man of the year. Leonie Febish had a good game today. But Sabrina Ionescu, 9 for 23 from the floor, 28 points. 9 for 10 from the free throw line. 8 rebounds, 8 assists. She was on triple-double watch. 8 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals, and a block. Damn. She was on a mission tonight. Interestingly enough, she's 1 for 9 from deep. She was 1 for 9 from 3 points. And she still managed to put up 28. Let me be honest with you, man. I forgot Alyssa Smith was even on the damn team. Alyssa Smith had 11 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, and 2 blocks. So she had a solid game. She had a solid defensive game. She had a solid defensive game. And look, this is what you're gonna get from her. That's to be expected. That's to be expected. But when I see stuff like that, Alyssa Smith, this is her what, 4th year in the league? So again, you're talking about players with 4 and 5 years of experience, and they getting shadowed by what Angel Reese is doing, what Kiki is doing, what Sonia Citron is doing. And they first and second year, either rookies or second year vets. And they putting up these numbers like they've been here for years. What's up, AC Chi-Town? Yeah, I agree. I agree with you, AC. However, that's the nature of the beast. But my point is, because of that, I'm not disagreeing with you, but because of that, you get these athletes that come from Hall of Fame coaches, and you got somebody cutting their teeth for the first time or getting their first opportunity to coach high level players. And sometimes, I know it was a couple times on the bench last year with Indiana where Christy Siles was drawing something up, and you can see the looks on their faces like what the hell are you doing? Like rolling their eyes and stuff like that. Listen, if you can get, why do you think that most of these coaches cover their mouth when they talking now? Why do you think they do that? Or when they on the sideline and they talking, they'll talk like this. So the camera can't catch what they really saying because you already know they got people out there that can read lips and all of that type of stuff. And they don't want nobody to know what they saying. You know who started doing this? The NFL started that because the teams would hire people that could read lips so they can intercept the plays. That's what started that. That's what started the microphones. You got the headset with the microphones, and now you ever notice that a lot of those microphones got the big cover on it? You'd be looking like a damn Decepticon. So, Waterfall, regardless of if she did or not, she was. She was. So the minute you step in that arena, it is what it is. So, and you know what? We still got a whole lot of basketball left. We ain't even 20 games in yet. Some players got 19. Some teams have 19. This weekend, by the end of the weekend, everybody will be at like 20 games or something like that. So we bet the true halfway point, which is what the All-Star break is. And be ready to rock and roll. Teams get a little bit of rest. And I know some of the ladies probably got spoiled by the Olympic break last year. Because that was a whole month off. That is what got Caitlin Clark Rookie of the Year last year. Because if you remember, Caitlin Clark was on the struggle bus first half of the year. Then she finally got some rest. That's why her not playing in the Olympics was the best thing for her. I wanted her to play in the Olympics. I wanted to see that. I thought that would have been a big boon for the U.S. team and just basketball in general, especially basketball in the U.S. But she didn't want to go. She was tired and she wanted to rest up. I don't blame her. And it worked out for the better, didn't it? So that's the way things go sometimes. You got to make the decisions that don't nobody like. But guess what? Bill Belichick been cheating for years. You got it. Bill Belichick. That's what my man Tank Thomas called him. Belichick. Yeah. Yeah. Everybody, I hate this thing that people do. Everything bad that happens or everything negative, as an example, that happens with Angel, they immediately want to compare it to whatever Caitlyn did. If something happened to Caitlyn, they immediately want to compare it to something that Angel did. And it's like, those are two different scenarios, and you don't know what the context is in any given situation. So they just want to compare and contrast. Well, she did bad, but well, she did it too. So if you're gonna criticize one, you got to criticize the other. And sometimes it's like, man, just shut up and watch the game. It's not that serious. But everybody want to be right. You know how that go. You know how that go. So did y'all notice one thing tonight? They were playing because I came in and it was on my television. I didn't change the channel. It was on, I guess, ESPN, where they were showing Bronny James on the Lakers G team unit. And it looked like they had like 30 people in the stands wherever they was playing. So you can safely say that the WNBA is more popular than Bronny James right now. Don't nobody want to see that. So yeah, I wish she would have played, but here was my contention when all of that was going on. And this is on tape. I know I did videos about it and live streams about it, but I was okay with Cheryl Reeve not having Caitlin Clark because Cheryl Reeve is a veterans coach. So she don't want rookies and all of that. But I think she should have taking a little softer stance in regards to growing the game, because this was a once in a lifetime opportunity. All the stars were aligned for the Caitlin Clark experience worldwide, and she just kind of derailed it on her own. And I think that was a mistake, because at the end of the day, you can talk about going through the process and making your picks and all of that type of stuff. If Caitlin Clark would have been in the mix, she would have been on the team. Not a high bar. Dawn Staley came on and kind of cleaned it up. And she was right. She put it perfectly. She was like, hey, if we knew then what we know now, maybe we would have thought different. I kind of called BS on that, because they knew what Caitlin Clark was. They knew exactly what she was. But I'll say, and I'm not a Cheryl Reeves fan, but I'll say respect to Cheryl Reeves, because she was 10 toes down on her decision. She stuck with her decision. She didn't let public outrage sway her. She didn't let nobody get under her skin or make a decision she didn't want to make. She gave you her reasons. And this kind of goes into my thing about um, people in the WNBA being cryptic. You don't have to be cryptic. You don't have to write a riddle for people to understand what's going on. Cheryl Reeves said exactly what she thought, and that was it. And that's all she needed. And everybody else got bent out of shape. Everybody else. So respect to Cheryl Reeves for making that decision. Waterfall, I won't say if that was no. You're right. You're right. It was the right thing, because they ended up winning the gold medal. But what I will say is this, because I've seen this before, and this is one thing that has always been true. If she wanted to put Caitlin Clark on that team, she could have. Period. You the head coach. If you want somebody, get somebody. But this is not the first time that's happened. Y'all don't remember when Christian Laettner was on the U.S. team instead of Shaquille O'Neal. Are you kidding me? So if a coach wants a particular player on the team, that player is going to be on the team. Period. Cheryl Reeve didn't want her. She didn't want her. You know what, AC? I was thinking about this today. And you're right. You're right. Um, they don't even play the same position. So we've had those conversations before, but you're 100% right. But I was thinking about this today. When you look back, and I'm going back to Iowa and LSU, when did all of the racial stuff between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark start? I'm going to tell you when it started. It started when LSU beat Iowa, and then all of a sudden, Jill Biden wants to bring both teams to the White House. And everybody was like, that don't never happen. You don't bring the losers to the White House. The winner of the national championship gets to go on the trip to the White House. That's the way it's always been. Now you trying to change things up. We should bring all the women to celebrate all the women. Like, no, this ain't no participation trophy. Hell no. LSU whooped that ass. LSU won the title. They go to the White House. And when she did that, that's when all the racial stuff started happening. And rightfully so. Why else would you all of a sudden want to bring the losing team to the White House? That has never happened in the history of ever. But now you got this basically black team beating the white team, and all of a sudden you got a change in heart. You want to bring both teams? Nah, that was too see-through. In my opinion, that's where all of the racial stuff started. That was the catalyst for the Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, like racial beef, because everybody jumped on from both sides of it. Because back then, when that happened, Biden was in office, so you can't blame it on, like a lot of stuff we got going on now. So those wasn't the excuses, because Jill Biden invited, right? So I wish, like I said, that they just could play ball. So uh if you're talking about the Olympic team, AC, who they should have dropped was Chelsea Gray. Chelsea Gray had been hurt all year. Chelsea Gray didn't even start playing until like a week before the All-Star break, right? I think that was right. She played late because she was injured, and it was like, but granted, when I saw her play, I was like, oh, okay. No. What it was I went and checked. I looked up Chelsea Gray's highlights on YouTube, and I was like, oh, this is what you're looking for. Oh, I get it now. She was still hurt, and she wasn't 100%. When you want to do something bad enough, you'll find a way to do it. It's that simple. It's that simple. Andre, in my experience, I have there haven't been. I don't even think I could I can name one player who was uncoachable. I think that's the wrong way to look at it. It's not that they can't be coachable. You got to have a player that's willing to accept what you're trying to impart in him or her. And everybody don't do that the same way. That doesn't manifest itself the same way with every athlete. Some athletes, just like some athletes need a rah-rah speech. Some athletes hate rah-rah speeches. Just leave me alone. Give me 10 minutes of by myself and I'll be good. Because you got all different types of personalities. So um, I don't believe there's very many athletes that are quote unquote uncoachable. I don't believe that at all. So if you got a kid that's uncoachable, he just in the wrong environment. No, I've experienced that before, where you got a kid that thinks he's all world and he gets embarrassed and all of a sudden don't want to play no more. And me as the coach, I got to convince him, like, hey man, this is the way it goes. You the one came out here and said you was good. Now you got these young bulls up in here showing you up. So what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? So I don't like to say uncoachable because I've coached like hard headed kids and stuff like that where they got to run to the bathroom and not paying attention and all of that type of stuff. That's not uncoachable. Anybody can be coached. You gotta find a way to speak their language. Um, Kaylin was injured. Now she the captain because you get the captaincy because the All-Star vote is a popularity contest. And I'm not saying that as a dig or insult to the WNBA. It's always been like that. The NBA is the same way, the NFL is the same way, Major League Baseball is the same way. It's a popularity contest to get on the team. That's why when you saw that stuff come out about them ranking Caitlin Clark the ninth best guard in the league, don't nobody believe that. But if you watch the tape and watch Caitlin Clark play, and you hurt and you 1 for 27 from three, okay, on to the next thing. This Empire has pissed me off in the Phillies game. Yeah, they've been the pressure on Rob Thompson Tiff has been kind of rough today because he didn't argue them balls and strikes last night. So but yeah, the Anthony, the Kalen being the coach, I mean that's the vote. That's the number one vote getter and all of that type of stuff. It is what it is. It is what it is. But we ready to go. Um, we're ready to rock and roll. Tell y'all what. Anybody want to jump on? I'm gonna drop the link. All right, the link is dropped. If you want to come on, just click on the link. It'll bring you to me. Use headphones if you got them, please and thank you. If you do not want to be on camera, you should have a setting right before you get in my room where you can turn your camera off. We can still hear you, but if you want to turn it off so you don't, some people get iffy about that, and I understand. Turn your camera off. We can still hear you. So, Priest, bro, you got to go hoop in the morning. All right, AC Chi-Town. I'm going to play golf in the morning. I'm going to the driving range in the morning. So, I'm gonna take off at like 7:00. That gives me about 45 minutes to hit balls because the place is like less than 10 minutes away from me, and I should be able to be back in the house, log in to work at the right time around 8:00. So I'm lucky I'm working from home from that area. So I'm gonna head out tomorrow morning and hit a bucket of golf balls and work up a little lather and keep it moving. So keep hooping, man. Keep hooping. Get that work in. Work on them handles. Should you be able to participate in the All-Star game if you only play single digit games? Yeah. Until they change the rule, yeah. That's the question you need to ask. Well, how come they haven't put a rule in that says you got to play X amount of games? Because the problem is that remember, it's all about the money. Let's stop talking about the W like it's a purist league. It's not. Everybody trying to get their own endorsement deal. Everybody trying to wear their own shoes. Everybody getting signature shoes. All of that type of stuff. So yeah, but it don't matter. Waterfall, it don't matter. You're right. You're 100% right. But the average person ain't thinking about all of that. They see what they see, and they gonna take their own interpretation based on what they see. And what everybody saw was, yo, how the players rank Caden Clark ninth? This person ain't better than her. That person ain't better than her. It don't matter. It don't matter. Here's what I say to people that complain like that. Ain't no way that Caden Clark should be ranked ninth. Well, she is. Now what? Now what? What are you gonna do? Nothing but keep bitching about it. So save your breath, save your energy. So do I think Caitlin Clark is going to be one of the better pros in the W? Absolutely. She's just not there yet. Do I think she's injury prone? Absolutely not. This is the first time she's been hurt in her career. So that's not it. She just got some things to work on in her game like everybody else does. Like everybody else does. Everybody else ain't got it polished. Paige Beckers needs work. Caden Clark needs work. Angel Reese needs work. Sonia and Kiki, they both need work. So that's what you're gonna get. That's what you're gonna get. Let these young kids take their lumps, and they're gonna come out better on the other side. That's what's gonna happen. My sister got a friend. She works with Sanaya Fagan's mother. They're both teachers down in Atlanta. And she been watching for Sanaya Fagan, and she ain't getting no clock. She ain't getting no clock. So what do? Don't get mad, get better. Don't get mad, get better. You talking about Kaylin? Yeah, that could be it. That could be it. She did put on some lean muscle mass. That's why it's so very important when you work out like that. You got to learn how to stretch. Got to learn how to stretch. Everything is handed to her. Who you talking about? Caitlin Clark? We'll agree to disagree on that one, Andre. We'll agree to disagree on that one, bro. Because I don't see that as spoiled with what Caitlin Clark does. She talks a lot of shit, um, and that gets under people's skins. And it come to find out that's an easy way to guard her. Give her the same business that you give. What up, D? You do remember Shaq and Leitner? Yeah, that was a big deal. That was a very big deal because Shaq was pissed. Shaq was pissed. That's why Shaq was trying to tear down all them damn rims. He was pissed, and he had every right to be. He had just won a national championship. Nobody could touch Shaq. Nobody. He was that dominant. Angela Reese is showing vast improvement in the departments we wonder about. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. And again, I'll say it again. Shout out to my man Brooklyn. Shout out to my man Brooklyn. Brooklyn told me this a while back. We talked about this. And he said, yo, he was like, Coach, you gotta watch Angel. He sent me some tapes how she used to be in high school. I watched her at LSU, and she coming into her own. She coming into her own. And all the people that calling her trash and all that kind of stuff, that's a personal bias with. I'll be putting out some of my I'll get the shorts from my longer clips and I'll post them. And anytime I post something about Angel Reese, it's amazing. There's always a comment to the effect of, oh, she's trash. I can't wait till she leaves the league. It'll be better for it. I'm like, how the hell are you saying that? I was like, that lets me know that you ain't about the league, nor do you follow it. Or you would know that she's the real deal. She's the real deal. She can have a bad game and still come out on the other side looking good. That's what she's done. But at the end of the day, if you keep it basketball, it's gonna play itself out. I will keep saying that and stand on that soapbox. Because people they don't hear me. If you just let them play, it is going to play itself out. If you love Angel Reese and you hate Caitlin Clark and you want Angel to be better, let them play. And eventually it's gonna play itself out. Because let me be honest with you. With Caitlin Clark being injured, the way Angel Reese is playing right now, her stock is going up. And the good thing, well, I can't say that. I can't say. Well, I guess I could, because I will say the good thing about Angel Reese right now is that you ain't hearing much from her. And then I remember what she did about the refs and all that kind of stuff. But she's talking about stuff in game, so I'll grant her that. But she's not. The TikToks, at least it seems like, have died down a little bit, and she seems like she's staying focused on what she got to do. And don't worry about the theatrics and all of that kind of stuff. And she's better for it. Now, the smacking the clipboard down, that's a frustration move. It is. It happens. Camila Cardosa. Camila Cardosa was killing it over in Eurobasket. She was balling. So we'll see what she's going to do. Tell me why Angel not elevated to stardom like her adversary. Because here's my thought. This is my opinion. This is my opinion. And I mentioned this the other night. Angel is unquestionably the leader when it comes to social media. That is not, you can't argue that point, period. Right? The problem is those 4 million followers or whatever she has doesn't translate one-to-one to her amount of viewership and things of that nature. Because don't forget, Camila Cardoso was the second pick, not Angel. Angel was picked after Cardoso. So Cardoso was the more valuable pick. But Angel stepped up and just kind of took the shine away. She did it. Now, whether or not she got a couple of extra rebounds from herself. I don't care. It don't bother me none. Couldn't nobody stop her. That's how I look at it. But the groundswell for Angel Reese just wasn't as big as it was for Caitlin Clark. And I don't think it had anything to do with pumping people up. And here's the one thing you got to remember. Y'all remember, because everybody was looking, because I was paying attention, everybody was looking to see if LSU was going to be able to repeat. They had just won a national title. They still had a good team. They still had a lot of players coming back. And then what happened? And to me, this is where Angel Reese fell off a little bit. And it had nothing to do with her production on the basketball court. If y'all remember, when she came back the year after they won the national title, all of that stuff came out between her and Flau'jae, and they wasn't hanging out. And the next thing you know, Angel is off the team for 2 weeks, and Kim Mulkey ain't saying shit. And we was like, hold on. Then the mom started getting into it. And it was like, wait, this is ridiculous. This is like a soap opera. And to me, Angel, she lost a little bit of that luster because ain't nobody dealing with that. Now, she still had her hardcore fans. She still had, at that time, I think she still had like 1 or 2 million on social media. So she had a huge following. The only problem is her following didn't translate to actual viewership and ticket sales when she got to the W. And I say that because Caitlin Clark's did. Before I started watching the WNBA seriously and before I started investing in it. So we talking about 3 years ago because I'm only a second-year fan. But, and I've said this before, when they get to that argument about we've been here for years and we've been making moves and getting better, the leagues is growing and blah, 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 right? The one thing I will say is Las Vegas was the only team I ever heard about before I got interested in Caitlin Clark and the whole Caitlin Clark effect. Las Vegas was the only team like that because Las Vegas, Asia Wilson had won 2 in a row. They was trying to get celebrities down there. It just, the whole Vegas vibe, and it was being put out there. I don't know why I know why they picked Vegas, because back-to-back Asia Wilson. And it was working. They sold out their season tickets before the season had started. They were making the correct advancements. And I heard about it. And to me, Asia Wilson is one of those few athletes that broke the threshold. When people that don't watch the sport, you mention their name, they'll know that player, even though they don't watch the sport. That's the threshold that most of the WNBA thinks they have. You got Caitlin Clark and Asia, can't even talk. Angel Reese. Those are the only two. The only difference is Caitlin Clark has been strictly basketball. Angel Reese is making business boss moves. She got endorsement deals, Reese's Pieces, McDonald's, Me Bounds, We Bounds, and She Bounds. All of that type of stuff. She's making business moves. Met Gala outfits. Business moves. Her face is everywhere. They want to, they want to market that. But a lot of her fans are following her because of that other lifestyle. It ain't got nothing to do with basketball. Those are the fans that don't translate to the viewership because she got other stuff going on. There's people that follows her fashion, rightfully so. They're not interested in sports. They just want to see what dress she wearing or which designer she wearing. She got the face, she got the body, and apparently she got the business mind because she working it. She got deals with Cash App and all this stuff going on. And those fans might not necessarily be basketball fans. They just Angel Reese fans. And that's cool. That's the way it goes. But that is why Angel, as popular as she is, it's not translating 1-to-1. If you got 4 million followers, you should have your viewership should always be above 4 million. But that's unrealistic. That's not a good translation of how it works. If you got a product that you selling door to door and you go to 100 doors, what's your return rate? Out of those 100 doors, how many people are actually going to buy something from you? Not many. Maybe 2 or 3, maybe 5 if you're lucky out of 100. So her audience is not translating 1-to-1 because a lot of her audience only care about what she's wearing, only care about, the bikini pics. So you got an audience that's kind of split. You one of those Angel Reese fans, it's all good. Andre, that's you can't say that. That's a subjective thing. I think Caitlin Clark is nice looking. Now the question is, are you going to say, well, is she good looking like Cam Brink or Angel Reese or pick your whoever? That's a subjective thing. That's a opinion based thing. So it is what it is, and that goes to my point. If that's the case, and let's keep it a buck. You got a lot of people are fans of Sophie Cunningham because she was posing in front of that truck with the bikini with the 2-piece on, and Cam Brink was at the beach showing the abs and all of that kind of stuff. So let's keep it a buck. Sex still sells. Sex still sells. That's why Sophie Cunningham can get into a fight with somebody and then her online profile jumps up like 60,000 or whatever it was, 260,000, something goofy like that. That's the way it goes because she got the look. Sophie Cunningham got the look. Cam Brink got the look. Angel Reese got the look. Deja Kelly has got the look. What's the girl from Golden State? I forget her name. She's another one out there that's gorgeous girl. They got the looks. That's the way it's always been. This ain't nothing new. It just manifests itself in different ways, but same game, different stadium. I'll challenge anybody that is not an Angel Reese fan. Go look up some of her high school stuff. Girl can ball. Matter of fact, Gino Auriemma was trying to get her. He ain't stupid. So Real Hoops fans don't care about no looks. If a player is nice looking, guess what? I still want to know if she can ball. That's true. That's true. I'm glad you brought that up because I want to make this distinction. I said this last night. I believe I said it last night. And I will preface it by saying this is my second year invested in the WNBA. I know players on every team. I bought the league pass, so now I'm spending money. I'm going to buy merch, so now I'm spending more money. I'm invested in the league, and I'm a second-year fan, right? So I'm the guy that, this is the part I said before the other night, I'm the guy that the WNBA is looking for. All of the diehard basketball fans have always been there. But those diehards aren't paying the bills. Those diehards aren't filling the stadium. It's everybody else that's coming on board. That's what you want. That's what you want. So the diehards ain't going nowhere. But because it's only been the diehards for the past 30 years, that's why the league ain't never made no money. And now you got your Jordan moment, and Clark kicked in the door, and now you got people watching that wasn't never cared about watching women's basketball. Everybody's watching. Even the people that aren't interested in the sport are still watching. That's that threshold we talk about all the time. Not buying that. I don't agree with that at all. And everybody, here's the problem with that. Whenever somebody doesn't say something, that gives people license to think whatever they want to think, whether regardless if you right or wrong. Don't nobody know what her political affiliations are and all that type of stuff. You make that assumption because she come from Iowa. Republican state, a lot of Republicans in there, and everything that goes with that. I get that part, but I'm not gonna cast that on somebody because I know what comes with that. So no, I'm not casting that on anyone. Because the truth be told, there are a lot of people that look like us that act the same way. So it's all about what are you a good person or not? Do you like that's what it comes down to. So ain't nobody here to judge. I'm not certainly not the one. So I leave them conversations alone. Yeah, I'm with you, D. Leave the icks out of politics. Feel me? What's up, real money? The fact that we find anything to talk about to keep the conversation going about the WNBA proves exactly what everyone is trying to say they ain't here for. Exactly. Exactly. I don't understand why so many people will all like in my comments will say something like, I can't wait till Angel is gone or Caitlin should take her ball and start another league. I was like, why? Why is that the answer you would want? Play it out. Don't say it. Play it out. What would happen if Caitlin Clark started her own league? Some of the people that you like watching wouldn't be in it. You think everybody from the WNBA would just automatically transfer to a new league? It never works that way. It doesn't work that way. I don't think it's ever happened. Maybe the USFL and the NFL. I don't know. So when people say stuff like that, play it all the way out. If Caitlin Clark left the league, and why do you want the league to fold? I don't understand that. Because if that's your train of thought, then you're not a fan in the first place. Why are you watching? If Angel Reese bugs you so bad, why are you watching? How come every time somebody produces content about Angel Reese, that means I watch the game? But all you're doing is commenting on my comments. You didn't say anything about her game. You didn't say anything about the triple double. You just said she was trash. You feel what I'm saying? What's up, Waterfall? You jumping on the mic? What's good?
What's up? Yeah, I know Broclaw. I know all of them. I was around there when they got started. Broclaw's even taking my line.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Angel Reese.
K-Sap.
When she came
in the family.
when she came in this thing, because Broclaw like to use my little comment. She taking the WNBA by storm. See, Angel Reese was supposed to be number 2, draft number 2. A lot of people don't know that. Then her stock went to 3. All of a sudden, they started talking about Angel Reese skills won't transfer. She been a walking double queen since she was a child. So why will shooting and rebounding won't transfer? Okay, first of all, it transfer.
Mm-hmm.
Kurt Miller said with Anisha Mora coming out this year, he said they're not even worrying about will a player that can rebound transfer anymore. And if you know anything about Anisha Mora, she's a Chicago resident, and she went to DePaul, and she was always a baller. She was a shooter. Transferred down to LSU. But
Yeah, Lisa been quiet too. She on the She on a quiet little climb, and
Exactly.
she gonna bust out in a minute.
Exactly.
She gonna
But
bust out in a minute.
yeah, and I've been with the WNBA since its inception. See, a lot of people don't know Cheryl Swoops. That from Cheryl Miller to Candace Parker, there's a big gap. People don't know. They know
There's a
Cheryl Miller.
huge gap.
Yeah, they know Cheryl Miller because of Reggie, and in the old schools. And so some of the young people just know her based off of what they heard,
Right.
and then they heard Candace. But
And
you had
and
Maya
that's the
Moore,
way it goes.
Tamika
Yeah.
Squad, Tamika Catch. You had all these girls.
Mega Catchings,
Yeah.
Tina Thompson, uh,
Yeah.
all of them. You're
But
right, all of them.
Cheryl Swoop
Unfortunately,
was the
Cheryl
next
Swoops was
GOAT.
nasty.
She was the next. She was at the Cheryl Miller. See, people don't know that she was at the Cheryl Miller, and Cheryl Swoop's score, National College Collegiate Championship score, is still the same score that holds today. 47 points. Nobody has exceeded her points.
Cheryl Swoops broke the threshold. I always talk about the threshold because to me, the threshold is if you ask somebody that doesn't follow the sport, if you mention Cheryl Swoops, if you mention Caitlin Clark, if you mention Tiger Woods, would they know that name? Cheryl Swoops was there because back then there wasn't no social media, but I remember when she was on Martin, her and Lisa Leslie and Rebecca Lobo and Dawn Staley was on the Martin show. And at that
Uh-huh.
time, that was the biggest thing. That was the biggest thing popping. If you was on Martin show back then, you couldn't get no
Right,
higher. Either Martin or
right.
Arsenio.
See, I'm in Texas
And
with Cheryl Swoops. I'm a
yeah.
little older than Cheryl Swoops. I know Cheryl Swoops when she was Cheryl, people don't understand. She come from the major cities.
Uh-oh, I'm losing you. I'm losing your sound.
She close to Mexico. Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I
All
got you.
right. Cheryl Swoop came out closer to the tip at the bottom of Texas. It's a small town. Cheryl Swoop came out of a small, very small town, and she was hooping. Then when she got picked up, she supposed to went to University of Texas. But like most people, if you went off to college, most people sometimes they get homesick real fast.
Absolutely.
And Cheryl Swoop left UT, and since she left UT in order to stay eligible with a scholarship, she went to a junior college, a JUCO. She the
Yep.
one made JUCOs popular. Then from there, she went to Texas Tech. That was not a powerhouse. Texas Tech was not a powerhouse. She put Texas Tech the first year she got there. She taken Texas Tech to the Elite Eight. The second year she got there, she taken Texas Tech to the championship and won it.
Yep.
She was the only star. She carried that team. And anybody can go back, whoever look, go back and watch that game. It was a great game.
Yeah, but that's the problem with today's era. They don't nobody want to do the homework.
You right.
Nope. Nobody because like you like me, I'm old school. I'll be 55 on Saturday. So
Okay,
I
congratulations.
remember that. I'm old school like that. But the average fan now, don't nobody want to do that. The only thing they remember is Cheryl Swoop is what she said on Gilbert Arenas podcast.
Right,
That's
right.
as far as back as they go. Now I didn't like what she said and I thought she did herself a disservice, but that has got nothing to do with her putting it down on the court. But
Right,
we in the land of what have you done for me lately?
right. And see, they
That's
don't
just
know
the long
nothing,
and short of it.
you know, and I'll tell you, the league, I used to go all the time to the games because I'm up in here in Houston. So I was a Comet fan. But
Yeah.
when I was growing up as a little girl, I was a Dallas Wings
Houston used to pack them too.
and stuff. Yeah. And so, people got to understand Cheryl Swoop was removed 3 years, let's see, 4 years basically from college. It's been the GOAT. and was the first person to sign with the WNBA.
Right.
So they can tell you, give you some status because you had other players that could have signed, that they could have made the number one signee. They could have made the face of WNBA. But like you say, people don't want to do the homework.
Nah,
You
they
know,
don't. But that's
and what cost the WNBA? Because like they should tell you, the first 4 years it was pop. It's when they removed when they moved the WNBA games from regular national television and put it on cable, and then they put it on ESPN. And when they put it on ESPN, it just went away. They
nah.
lost a lot.
That was
Oh yeah,
ESPN. Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. That was
yeah.
ESPN. Like people don't really understand. ESPN got started in '78, but really didn't pop off until Michael Jordan happened.
Mm-hmm.
That's when Sports Center was used to come. Remember, Sports Center used to come on in the morning and at night, and
Right.
they would only show highlights. And then when they kept showing Michael Jordan dunking on everybody, that's when ESPN took off.
Yeah, it
That's when
took
all of
off.
that
And
da 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 da. That's when all of that stuff happened.
it took out. Yeah, it took out, and then it started expanding to
Yep,
everything. 'Cause I used to watch all sorts of sports on there.
yep.
Uh, uh,
But
but
here's how I look at that, because cable is interesting, because a lot of stuff happened because of cable. But one thing cable did bring was the ultimate distraction. You had
mm-hmm.
you had 100, 200, 300 channels. So you got all these other places that you can go. So it wasn't as focused as it was. The reason why
Exactly.
everybody is so you have such a nostalgic look at Magic Johnson and Dr. J and Michael Jordan, that's because back then it wasn't nothing else to watch.
Right. Right.
Now you got Unrivaled, you got bowling, you got cornhole, you got billiards, you got darts, then you got Netflix, you got all these other options.
Mm-hmm.
So you fighting for the turf, and that landscape is ever changing because now cable is on the way out. Cable is the dinosaur because now everybody's either
Right.
watching on their phone, watching on YouTube. So
Right.
even the ground is shifting as we speak.
Exactly.
So
You know,
and
and
go ahead.
ESPN. You know, Stephen A. will speak about the WNBA every now and then, and just like now, Kathy, they're missing a major opportunity because they keep putting Stephen A. or they made a little ESPN. But the only person that there's two people that was really keeping up with the WNBA. That's Jamil Hill and Monica McNutt. When
Yep.
nobody else was really keeping up with it. That's who need to be the spoke because they know the whole history and everything transcend from day one to now. You know, and Stephen A. is going. He's not going to push the WNBA like he needs. And Kathy keeps thanking him and trying to get him to push it. No, there's enough professionals that you had that come through the WNBA that can push to elevate the game.
Yeah, but
Just like
the problem with it, the marketing aspect of it, it gets real shaky with that, because I agree with Monica McNutt's first argument against Stephen A. Smith, and she was 100% right. Because when she said if you was that interested or worried about the WNBA, you could have been talking about this 3 years ago.
yeah,
But also, Stephen A. was correct, because his job is to follow the money. What's popping?
exactly. And
What's going to bring me the viewers? It wasn't the WNBA. So from that standpoint, he was 100% correct. But
that's why I said.
this was one of those situations where two things can be true. Monica McNutt was 100% correct, but so was Stephen A. Smith.
But this is what I'm saying. I'm not worried about who's correct or who's not. This is what I'm saying. This is where the commissioner has to change gear. Stop trying to make Stephen A. your go-to guy person for the WNBA. Like you said, he said it. I follow where the money is. You have to push. You have to put people out there that's going to push your product. Stephen A. is not there to push your product.
Nah, but You're
And
not wrong, but Stephen A gives you the most visibility.
he gives you that, but you got to build up. How did he get his most build? It didn't come naturally.
Yeah,
I
but
remember I
here's the
remember when he
problem.
won his little contest to become that. You
Yeah, but
know,
he you don't have in my opinion, Kathy Engelbert ain't got time to build nothing. It's here.
this is the thing.
It's
She
it's
she
here. She gotta act on it now. It's
she got
here.
act on it. Kathy been hey, I follow Kathy. Peter
I
Lynch.
like Kathy. A lot of people don't like her.
Yeah, I followed Kathy before she came to the WNBA in finance. I
Right.
followed her,
She was with
you know,
Deloitte, right?
yeah, I followed her out of that. So I was happy when she got it. But right now, no, she just kind of been coasting. And I understand that the WNBA doesn't have a big organization to do all the social media and everything at once, and they trying to build on it. But one of the main factors that you have with the WNBA that has to get cleared up, the NBA needs to move out the way.
Nah,
Needs to
but they
move.
can't.
They can if they want to. They don't want to now because
Well, well,
they
well, well.
because you got to remember
Here's the
Adam
problem with
Silver.
that. Why would
Adam,
you? Are you gonna move out the way when somebody owe
Adam,
you money for over 30 years?
look here. I broke that down to I think broke all them out list. I broke that down to how people are not owing them money. If name me one business that stayed in the operation and never made a profit in 30 years.
Okay, and out of all of them
I'm
businesses you
listening.
might be referencing,
I'm
are
waiting.
any of them professional sports teams?
I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Just name me a business. I'm waiting.
No, my point is that any business
Because,
that you may be
because
referencing, is it a professional organization? Because they
yeah,
operate
professional.
differently.
I'm talking about professional. No profit, no non-profit, professional organization. Because even now, right now, the NBA teams, and not many that's associated with the WNBA, are calling for the books. They want to see the books now. I've been telling
Correct.
people that for a long time. You can't tell me. I know how much it costs to rent out a church to play little kids, to rent out a Y. You were no longer going to the facilities, not even to the NBA facilities to work out. So you wasn't paying much money. So they want to see the books now. The NBA owners, the ones that's still in ownership, wants to see the books now because they
Right.
they they realize too. Hey, the math is not mathing out. You telling us, we're not making profit, but I could clearly see something else. So it's some things, and then Adam Silver on one of the CBAs, he had to go independent. That's how you got the independent owners inside the WNBA now.
Right.
And now I was looking the last three teams that just joined. I think two of them are part of the NBA. Because in the beginning they was like sister team. Because remember the comments were with the Rockets,
Oh, yeah. And all of that stuff
and
changed when, yeah. But
yeah,
you still got the NBA that's 60% owning the league. So y- at the end of the day,
I think it's 42.
now that they see that you got somebody like Caitlin Clark on the scene that's gonna make them money, they want their money
It's
back.
it's just, it's just not Caden Clark. It's several players making the money. Just
Yeah,
like
but
the NBA,
uh,
it wasn't just Michael that made money. It was other people.
yeah, but that the point is that if you that goes back to my threshold thing. There's th- there has always been the fact that yes, there are other players make money, but make no mistake, everybody's not watching everybody. Nobody was the
Caden got a
easiest
good fan
example is
base.
the easiest
Caden
example
got a
is
good fan base that'll show up.
what's
I
it
will tell you that.
look at the numbers for the All-Star voting. Look at how the numbers shot up for the
Look,
All-Star
yeah,
vote in the last 2 years.
her numbers shot up. Her fans showed up, and I tell you what, I'm gonna do a rallying call next year for Angel Reese fans, so you can see how fast she shot up. Angel Reese was number what 13
What do you
or
mean?
10 the first week of All-Star voting, the Mets just got out, and Angel Reese shot up to number 5. You know, like you say, some
Yeah,
people follow Angel Reese for different reasons,
but here's the thing, and this is how I look at it.
and we
And
can see.
when I first started watching the W, Asia Wilson was unquestionably the best player in the league,
Yes, she
right?
earned it. She earned
Right.
a spot.
So my question was, how come when Vegas goes to different places, how come they're not going to bigger venues, and nobody was bringing that attention for whatever reason?
Right, right. I'm gonna tell you, you in the Midwest, and I've been in the Midwest. I don't know if you've been in the Midwest.
I used to live in St. Louis.
Okay, no, you have to go more Midwest to the small town. When there's nothing to do, everybody shows up to
Yeah,
baseball games, the high school games, the football games. You show up to the college because there's nothing else to do.
yeah,
There's nothing else to do. It don't even have to be the Midwest. I remember being in Alabama, places in Alabama and Mississippi. That was when I started going to minor league baseball. You showed up there. You showed up to the football game, the high school, the middle school. You just showed up because there wasn't nothing else to do.
yeah. But
Period. And you're gonna do a fan base because Caitlin was the first person that had a fan base like that. The chick out in Oklahoma, the one that Caitlin doesn't talk about, should talk about, Styles. That's how she did her movie. Oklahoma. She
yeah,
was
but
lined up when she was in high school. Just
yeah, but
lined
it,
up
it
the
doesn't. It
WNBA.
listen. It doesn't. You got to look at Caitlin Clark
If they would
for
have promoted,
whatever reason, had the recipe, and the timing was right.
yeah, the
Everything had to
timing was
line up.
right. That's it. The timing was right. The
So
timing was perfect. You have social media.
so
You was able
people
to
so
put it on there.
people want to hate on her.
They
The
put-
people that love Angel always find a reason why Caitlin Clark didn't do it or couldn't do it or whatever. And to me,
I
that
love
doesn't
Angel
matter.
because I followed her as a kid, but
Angel
I
could
like
be
Kate Clark too because I'm a sports person.
right, but at the end
Period.
of the day, when you look at if you because it's still let's look at numbers, and when Caitlin
Yeah, we're
Clark
gonna look
says
at it.
they're playing over here, they're gonna sell out. Angel might
Yeah,
be on the
her
way getting
fan
there,
base.
but
That's
she
what I
ain't quite
said.
there yet.
Her fan base is going to show up for her. Well, for whatever reason, they're going to show up. No doubt, they're going to
Right
show up.
now, Caitlin Clark is arguably the biggest name in sports right now. If you put Caitlin Clark next to Steph Curry, I believe her autograph line might be longer.
It probably, I guess it could be depending on where you are. I can't guarantee you. I tell you who I'm gonna tell you who had the best. Now that you mention it, and this was on the news and everything. The person that's not even a sports person had the most valuable pen in the Olympics. And you know who that person was? Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg. Snoop Doggy Doggy. And he ain't even a sports person. So what I grew up and what you grew up with is totally different metrics at any day, any given time. And I'm gonna give Caitlin Clark her credit because she have a great fan base and they show up. She's popular. She's very popular. Uh, and they there. It's gonna keep
Well,
moving.
well,
They
right
got the
now,
talent that they get ready to come in with is going to be great, fantastic,
the one
and it's
thing I'll say
fantastic for the
about both
WNBA, for Caitlin Clark. It's fantastic for everybody.
the one thing that both of them are bringing in, the one thing you can say about both Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, what they've proven is that, and I haven't seen this before, but I wasn't looking at it before. But their audience followed them to the pros. That hasn't happened like this at this level before.
Yeah,
Maybe Maybe
No,
when
and that's
Candace Parker came out, maybe. But with this
no social media
era, with this
not
social media
like
landscape,
this.
their following has come with them, and it's translated to ticket sales. And that is going to keep on going because now you got all
Yeah,
these little girls buying jerseys and all that kind of stuff. They got something to look forward to. That's not going to stop. That's not going to stop because
exactly.
who spends more money? Dads spend money on daughters. That's always going to be where the money is spent, on the daughters first.
Yeah, yeah. So, this is a different era. Like I was telling one time on another podcaster show. If you have children now, grandchildren now, nieces and nephew, sports is one of the new occupations. See, the boomers, the Generation X, we're out the way. And your children now can be, but because people wasn't having children like back in the boomers days and stuff, and that amount. So now you could play sports. It don't have to just be basketball, football. You can make money because volleyball right now, I want to say volleyball is the number one up and coming sport.
Uh, I would
So
disagree with that, but volleyball is up and coming. The number one up
that,
and
that
coming sport is flag football
flag
because they're
football. I got some relatives getting in flag football, but volleyball is up and coming, and I know flag football is up and coming. But this is numbers that was done recently. This was talk. They got a volleyball thing. I'm going to start attending here in Houston and get
yeah,
with those ladies
but mark my
because
words, because I've been in meetings where we discussed this. I've been in NFL meetings. There will be a
okay, yeah,
professional women's flag football league in probably less than 10 years.
oh yeah. I
So,
got a great niece that I got into. I got my nephew. I told him to put his daughter in flag
all
football.
right, Tiff, have a good night.
It's up and coming, and they've been uh and every football game at the end when they doing commercials, I say, hey, look, 'cause I work for a sport venue, and I'm hoping to get to Texas and be out with them. So yeah, flag football is up and coming.
Yeah,
The
we getting there.
undercover one that they're not talking about is the volleyball one. It's the volleyball. But but nonetheless, go back to my original point. One of the occupations children can be in today and not be frowned upon is sports.
Yeah, they got
If your
something to look
kids don't know what
forward
they
to.
want to do, yeah, because lacrosse is picking up, rugby is picking up. There's a lot of sports that was not really played over here in the States that are being played here.
Well,
And
the,
they're picking up.
I think the sports were always played. I think now there's a legitimate opportunity to make a living from it, which didn't exist before.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh-oh. We lost. Did we lose her? Yeah, I think we lost her. She just dropped off. So that means either her phone died or something. I don't know. But good points. She made some good points. So yeah, volleyball is crazy. My sister was a volleyball player, my twin sister, and she goes to the she's in Atlanta, so she goes to the Atlanta has a team. I forget what the name of it is, and I know they did a thing where Caitlin Clark and a couple of the girls from the what you call it went down, went to the Indiana teams just to support. So it's there. It's there. What's up, C man? Caitlin sells tickets. That's all. Yeah, it's all money. Caitlin Clark is leading the show. Um, but like I was saying earlier, I don't want to see. I'm hoping they can get through this weekend without no drama, especially with this CBA. they gotta put their heads on right for the CBA because I saw the quote. I wish I could bring it up from Neka Gumike where they was talking about they want ownership and I don't know if they trying to bite off more than they can chew right now because again these owners see what's going on with Caitlin and they see how much money potentially they can make and they can legitimately start making their money back. And I would be surprised if this CBA goes longer than 4 or 5 years because the money, the endorsement money, the media rights money is going to continue to go up, and they're going to have an opportunity to make more money. So it all depends on what they want to do, but uh, they better be ready for this negotiation. And anytime they're talking about a strike or walking out, that ain't a good look because technically the NBA can let it go. And if you go on strike, if you walk out, if there's a work stoppage, you got to worry as a league, you got to worry about all of those young players, the rooks, all them people that aren't making 250, who don't have Met Gala deals like Angel Reese, who don't have State Farm deals like Caitlin Clark. You got to worry about all them other athletes that how are they going to get by through this work stoppage? Not to mention, you have a legitimate conflict of interest with Fee Collier and Breanna Stewart going unrivaled. They can say it's not a conflict of interest all they want. However, if the owners say, "Hey, we think this is a conflict of interest," now you got two sides going against each other. So you got to deal with that. So it's going to be some very very unstable footing going forward for the league. So um, it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see. I hope they can work something out too, man. I hope they can work something out too. Yeah, I saw Real Money. I saw that she swapped coaches. I thought that was cool. So the coaches could coach their own players. I thought that was a good idea. Um, I'm sure somebody will have something foul to say about it, but I thought it was a cool idea. But like I said, I just hope they have a good weekend, get through it, no issues. That's all I'm worried about. So, all right. Speaking of threshold, I have reached my threshold. It is 1 o'clock in the morning, and I got to be at work at 8 o'clock in the morning. So messing around with y'all, but I appreciate it, man. Waterfall, if you still listening, good conversation. I appreciate you. Don't be a stranger. Um, hey, and other people, man. Like, listen, if we got one person on the mic, we can still get other people on the mic. I usually try to go 4 or 5 people max, but I can still do more than one. But uh, table that till next time. We'll continue this conversation. I will be streaming. Um, what time is the game tomorrow? I know there was a game in the afternoon. We are nope. I will not be streaming that game because I will be at work. So I will be watching it, but I won't be streaming it. Uh, yeah, I won't be able to do that one. So, all right, we will have a recap tomorrow, probably around 10 o'clock. So that'll be a good game because I think Golden State stole one last time they played. So we'll see. Um, but all right, you guys, I'm gonna get up out of here. I'm gonna go to sleep. Got to get up in the morning. I got to do work. I appreciate everybody in the chat. Waterfall, I appreciate you. C Man, Andre, Bob Paranoiac, Real Money, Tiff, as usual, um, Carlos, RC, everybody in the chat, man. I appreciate you. It was hot. D Jordan. Um, y'all keep bringing that fire, man. We growing. We growing. Let's keep doing that damn thing. All right. I'm going to see y'all tomorrow. Y'all be safe. Have a good one. And I'm going to talk to you soon. Peace.